So let's go ahead and start on the input mapping context where we can add the player movement. So let's go ahead and go inside of the player folder. And inside of here, I'm going to right click and make a new folder called input. And I just misspelled that input just like that. And inside of here, let's open it up, right click, go to input and create this one called an input mapping context. So usually I call it IMC as a prefix, and I'm just going to call it default. Now, before we can use this, you can see if I open it up, it is empty. And if I click on this plus here to add a key to my movement, for example, you can see it says none and I can't select anything. And this is because it wants an input action. So down here, let's right click, go to input and select input action. This one we're going to call movement. And now for this one, I'm going to open it up, this input action, and the only thing that we really need to change inside of here is the value type. So the value type, you can click on it and you can see you have these different options. What we are going to do is movement forward and backwards. So for our character inside of the game, if I put the character inside of here, the character is going to move back and forth. That is one axis. And the character is going to move left and right. That is the second axis. So this is why I'm going to choose an axis 2D because we're moving forward, backward, and also left and right, which is the second axis. And then I'm going to save here. Let's go back to the input mapping context. And now we can click up here and add our input action that we just made. Okay, so inside of here, let's just minimize this for now. Inside of here, you have to assign a key. So I want to move forward with my W key. So what you can do is you can press up here and search for W. And then you can see this is the keyboard. You can select the W. Another easier method to do it as is if you click the plus up here. So now I want to move backward with my S key. Instead of clicking over here and writing S and finding your S key, sometimes it can take some time. What you can do is you can click on this icon and then you can click S on the keyboard. That will assign this key. Now to move left and right, I'm going to add two of them here. And for the right, I'm going to click here and click on D. And for the left, I'm going to click here and click on A on my keyboard. Now I have those keys. What I also want to add is I want to add the mouse movement. So I'm going to create a new input action. I'm going to go down here, right click, go to input and create a new input action. And I'm going to call this one look. So looking with the mouse. And for this one, again, I'm going to open up the input action and I'm going to change the value type to axis 2D because I'm going to look up and down. That's one axis. And the second axis is looking left and right. So axis 2D, going to click save and going back to my input mapping context. Now I can click the plus up here and I can add my new input action. And for this one, now click on it here and search for mouse. And you have this one called mouse XY2D. Now you can also just add the mouse X and also add another one and add the mouse Y. You can do that as well. That's the same thing. But to make it more clean, I'm just going to click here and search for the mouse and add this one mouse XY because we can do that as well. And it will become a lot cleaner in the code. So now what we want to do with the movement here, with the W key, we are moving forward. With the S key, we are moving backwards. However, right now they're both moving forward. So what we need to do for the S key to move backwards is in the modifiers, you need to click on the plus, and then down here, you have to select this one called negate. And this inverts your input. So when you click on S, it will move backwards when you have this negate added. It will do negate just means it does the opposite of what the W key does. So we have to do the same thing down here. The D is moving to the right. And actually for the left and right, what we have to do as well in the modifiers, we have to click here and select to world space. We have to do the same thing for the left here. We have to click on the modifiers and select to world space. Now for the left and right, the D is going to the right and the A is going to the left. Now for the left, we also have to add this modifier called negate, just like before. It's going to go the opposite way of what the D is going. So let's go ahead and click on save. Everything is looking fine. And now we are ready to add this input mapping context to our character, because now we have added everything. Everything's looking good. Now, if we get some bugs with the movement, we can always come back here and change it. But for now, this is what we have. And let's delete this character and let's move on to the next lesson.